Hey there, what's up? I'm Sakshi and today I'm going to share how to grow microgreens at home in water without using any soil. Microgreens are tiny baby seedlings somewhere between the stage of a sprouted seed and before the seedling has started to grow its first true leaves, or just when the seedling is starting to grow its first true leaves. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have heard me going on and on about microgreens because I absolutely adore them, and here are some reasons why. Microgreens are super easy and super quick to grow. The entire seed to harvest process takes like 7 to 12 days, and then there's this added cushy of eating something you grew with your own dough heart. They're also very nutritiously rich, even more so than the regular greens. They're very versatile to use in your cooking. I use my wheatgrass microgreens in juice. I add all different kinds of microgreens in smoothies. I use them in salads, sandwiches, chilla masala. I grind them up in my dosa and batter, idli and dosa batter. I make chutneys with them. I add them to paranthas and rotis. So a whole wide variety of ways you can use them in your cooking, and they're super flavorful and yummy to eat as well. So let's see how to grow them. I grow my microgreens using both the water method and the soil method. I use the water method for the bigger seeds like wheat, chickpeas, pulses, beans, sunflowers, jaw, and the soil method for the smaller seeds like mustard, fenugreek, spinach, amaranth, radish. Now all of these seeds are taken from my kitchen. They are available in the kitchen except radish, which I bought a big packet of because I was thinking of growing radish this winter. I'm still thinking about that, but meanwhile we are using the seeds to grow microgreens which taste delicious. So today in this video I'm going to show you the seed to harvest process of moat beans and urad beans. So I had to start these beans for microgreens while recording this video, so that is why I decided to show the process of these. But this is the exact process I use to grow all the microgreens in water. The first thing we are going to need is a seed container. As the name suggests, this is the container that will hold the seeds. The depth of this container doesn't matter. Wider it is, the more microgreens you will be able to grow in one go. The most important thing about your seed container is that its base needs to have a lot of holes. These holes need to be big enough that roots can grow out of them, but smaller than your seeds so the seeds don't fall out of those holes. You can use anything like a tray, mesh, sieve, basket, colander. I will be using this box. Now I try to avoid using disposable plastic as much as possible, but sometimes life happens, and in that case I like to repurpose or recycle whatever I have. So I have created a lot of holes at the base of this box using a thick needle, and I will be using this as my seed container. The next thing we are going to need is a base container. Now this base container will hold or collect water. It needs to be big enough that your seed container, all the holes, the entire base of your seed container can fit over it or in it. I like to use a big base container because I like my roots to have enough space to grow big. But you only need to keep in mind that the entire base of your seed container fits into your base container. The next thing we are going to need is a cloth. Now I have repurposed my papa's banyan to have a cloth, but we are going to need a cotton cloth. You can use a hanky, you can use any cloth that is available to you. I know a lot of people suggest using tissues, but A, tissue is a simple wastage, and B, it can also lead to fungus. So I like to avoid using tissue, and I have found the cloth works very well. We are also going to need some water, and that is it. So let's begin. The first step would be soaking the seeds. I soaked my moat and urad beans for 4 hours. I suggest soaking the seeds for something like 4 to 6 hours. Try to avoid soaking more than that. Next step would be spreading those seeds at the base of our seed container in a very thin and even layer. Then we will cover the seed container with our cloth, put it over the base container and water it. Let's do that. Now we're going to water these seeds. This is it, and then we're going to put this entire setup in a place where there is very bright light but indirect sunlight, not direct sun. Now all you need to do is remember to water your seeds twice or thrice a day for the next 2 or 3 days. Once you start seeing the seeds sprouting and the roots growing out of the seed container, it is time to fill the base container with water so that the roots can soak directly in that water. Once the roots are big enough to do that, then you can remove your cloth and stop watering the seeds from above. Now the roots will directly take their water from your base container. Afterwards, simply remember to change the water in the base container every alternate day or after every 2 days. And that is it. Your seeds will be ready to harvest in a week or so. A lot of people worry about mosquitoes, but if you're changing the water every alternate day or after every 2 days, then you don't need to worry about mosquitoes, and you also don't need to add any fertilizer to this, because we harvest microgreens when they are quite young, and at this stage they are still taking their food from the seed, and they do not need any fertilizer or any kind of any extra nutrition from outside. All they need is light and water to grow up. Okay, so look at these beauties. They are almost a week old now. It's day 7 since we planted, and let me just quickly show you. So these tall ones are your urad beans, and these shorter ones are your moat beans, and this is what the roots look like. Quite nice actually. So now we're going to start harvesting them. I know the moat looks like, in comparison to urad, they have some catching up to do, but that is just because urad grows really tall very quickly. So I'm going to start harvesting from urad from this side. We're going to start harvesting from the sides. Now I like to harvest in small batches and use the greens fresh. So I'm going to start today, and we are going to go like this so that the moat can actually grow up a little bit more in the next 3 to 4 days. As you are harvesting, because we're going to harvest in small batches, I would still suggest, when you put it back in your place where you were putting your microgreens, keep that base container filled with water as much as it needs to be, so that the roots of the remaining microgreens can still stay soaked in the water. So the beans, microgreens like the beans and all, they are mostly one-time harvest. Unlike, I'm gonna show these chanas to you. Let me move this aside. So unlike the chanas, so these I can harvest twice or thrice even, sometimes even 4 times I can harvest this batch. So for these I harvest somewhere in the middle so that they can grow back. But for moat, and they continue with that. But for beans like your moon beans, your urad beans, your moat, they are a one-time harvest thing. So we are going to start harvesting them from, so we're going to start cutting them right an inch above your root, and I like to use scissors for that. You can use a very sharp knife as well. There's nothing much to do over here. You simply go in, like hold a batch, go in, cut an inch or so above the roots, and there you have. These are going to go back, what is left. This is, we have harvested these, and these are going to go back in the windowsill. and I'm gonna come tomorrow and harvest a bit more so that I can have fresh greens. Now, apart from this, another important bit over here is, let me first show you what my harvest for today looks like. So these are all the greens that we have harvested today. I'm gonna just grind them in the idli batter and make idlis with that. Sometimes I would even chop them up and add to my chillas, to my sandwiches. So yeah, there are so many ways you can use these greens. So this is it. This is how you grow microgreens at home in water. It's okay if your first attempt doesn't go as great. It can take a couple of attempts to actually get a hang of the process. And once you understand the process, it can feel really simple. So if you grow microgreens, definitely share your pictures with me on Instagram at Sakshi Gupta Yoga. I'll leave a link to my Instagram profile down in the description box below. Come say hello, tag me in your pictures, share them in the messages. I would love to see your green beauties. Now, if you have any questions or if you would like to share how the process went for you or how you like the video, definitely leave your comments down below. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care of yourself. Lots of love from my side. Bye bye.